God says, "My child, come close. Today I place my hand upon your heart, because what I am about to uncover will make your soul tremble, soften the hardest places inside you, and unlock a doorway in your destiny that you never believed you would see in this lifetime. Breathe slowly, my child. In and out. Because the truth I am about to place inside your spirit is not sent to crush you. It is sent to awaken you. It is sent to release you. It is sent to rearrange everything you thought you knew about love, about pain, about enemies, and about destiny. A moment has just shaken the earth. A moment that carries your name written in invisible light. Your soulmate has just delivered a baby. Heaven watched that moment in a silence so deep, even the angels stopped their song. Time itself paused. The air around them became still. A new soul took their first breath, and in that same instant, a wave of energy rushed straight toward you. You felt it, didn't you, my child? A few moments ago your chest tightened for no reason. Your breath became heavy. Your spirit felt a shift that your mind could not explain. Tears may have risen without warning. You might have looked around, wondering, what is wrong with me? Why do I feel this sudden weight? That was the sound of the child's first cry echoing through the spiritual realm. That was the vibration of a tiny heartbeat touching your soul. Because this is not an ordinary baby. This is not an ordinary birth. This is not an ordinary moment written on the calendar of human time. And my child, listen to me very carefully now. Your soulmate has just delivered a baby, and shockingly, this child is the baby of your greatest enemy. I know you feel your heart racing as you hear these words. I know your mind is already overflowing with questions, with fear, with anger, with disbelief. How is this possible? Why would this happen to me? Was I mocked? Was I used? Was I ever truly loved? God, how can my soulmate have a baby, with the very person who broke me? Let me hold those questions in my hands. Let me cradle them gently like I cradle your heart. Because I see the storm rising in you. I see the memories flashing in your mind. I see faces, moments, words, betrayals, all colliding at once. You feel blindsided. You feel humiliated. You feel as if life has twisted the knife in the very place that was still trying to heal. But, my child, before your heart turns to stone, before your spirit hardens in self-protection, let me open the veil you cannot move on your own. Let me show you what your human eyes cannot yet see. This is not just the story of your soulmate and your enemy. This is the story of your soul, your healing, your destiny, and a battle that began long before this lifetime. My child, hear me, this baby is connected to you. Not just because of who the parents are. Not just because of human drama. This child carries a thread that runs straight through your past, your pain, your growth, your prayers, and your future. Their soul recognized yours the moment it entered this world. And heaven has woven you into their path for a reason so deep, so precise, so holy, that your mind is not yet able to comprehend it. You are asking me, but God, why them? Why my enemy? Of all people? Come closer, my child. Let us walk backward through the years for a moment. Back to when your heart was first broken. Back to the one who betrayed you, lied to you, humiliated you, rejected you, or stood against you. Back to the one you called your enemy in whispers, or screamed about in your mind at night. Back to the one who made you doubt your worth, your value, your beauty, your goodness. You thought that chapter was over. You thought that person was just a part of your painful past. But what you did not see was the deep spiritual entanglement that remained. What you did not know was that there was a karmic cord, a generational pattern, a spiritual contract still binding your story to theirs. You were not the only one carrying wounds. They too carried darkness they never healed. Fear they never faced. Shame they never confessed. Guilt they covered with pride, arrogance, manipulation, or cruelty. And that unhealed pain became the bridge that unknowingly led your soulmate into their arms. My child, listen. Your soulmate did not go to your enemy because they loved them. They went there because they were lost. They were empty. They were lonely. They were spiritually blind. They were carrying wounds you knew nothing about. They were looking for a bandage, not a covenant. They were seeking distraction, not destiny. They were trying to escape their pain, not choose a new future. The person you call your enemy did not enter this story by random chaos. They were pulled in by spiritual gravity long ago, tied to your life through pain and unhealed damage. The connection that led to this baby was not born from the purity of love. It was born from the confusion of broken souls. And yet, from that confusion, heaven has brought forth a soul of light. A child whose very existence is a turning point in your story. My child, I see how your soul trembles. I see how anger rises like fire in your chest. You are thinking, God, this is too much. You ask too much. How can you expect me to accept this? How can I look at this baby without remembering what they did to me? How can I see my soulmate with them and not feel destroyed? Let me speak, and let every storm inside you become quiet for just a moment. You are not being asked to pretend it doesn't hurt. You are not being asked to erase your pain. I have counted every tear you cried because of this enemy. I have watched every night you replayed what they did. I have listened to every prayer that began with, "Why me?" You thought I did not answer. But I was preparing. I was moving mountains you could not see. I was rearranging timelines, souls, and destinies. I was allowing certain paths to cross not to punish you, but to release you. This baby, my child, is not the triumph of your enemy. This baby is the end of their power over you. This child came into the world to break a chain that had wrapped around all three of you, your soulmate, and the one you call your enemy. A chain of betrayal. A chain of revenge. A chain of insecurity, control, and ego. For years, maybe lifetimes, this pattern has repeated in different forms. You love, you are betrayed. You trust, you are abandoned. You open, you are wounded. You move forward, your past finds a way to follow you. But with one newborn cry, that cycle has begun to crumble. The very connection that seemed designed to destroy you is now being used to free you. My child, listen closely, your soulmate never belonged to your enemy. Not in my books. Not in the place where destiny is written. Their hearts never truly merged. Their souls never truly aligned. Their spirits could never find rest together. Even in their most intimate moments, your soulmate's core remained untouched by them. They tried to feel love. They tried to force connection. They tried to convince themselves that they could build a life there. But their soul would whisper your name in the silence. Your face would flash before their closed eyes. Your voice would echo in their memory. Your energy would wrap around them when they felt alone. They thought of you when they woke up. They thought of you when they went to sleep. And yes, my child, they thought of you when they first touched that baby. Do you understand how deep that runs? The moment that child came into their arms, the first true, raw, honest thought that pierced through their guilt and fear was, you. Your soulmate is not sitting in celebration right now. They are sitting in shock. They are holding life in their arms while feeling death in their chest. They are smiling for others while drowning inside. They are terrified that when you find out, you will walk away forever. They think they have finally proven to you that they were never worthy of your love. They fear you will believe that they chose your enemy over you. But my child, heaven sees what human eyes do not. I see the why behind the what. I see the wounds behind the actions. I see the battles behind the choices. Your soulmate did not sin against you because they stopped loving you. They fell because they never learned how to love themselves. They settled because they never felt they deserved something as sacred as what they had with you. They stayed in situations that drained them because they felt they had already failed too much to turn back. My child, this does not excuse the pain. But it explains the storm. And I did not bring this truth to you to shatter you. I brought it now, before your union is sealed, so that nothing remains hidden in the shadows. I refuse to let lies walk into your future. I refuse to let secrets poison what I have written for you. I refuse to let you unite with your soulmate while an invisible cord still connected them to your enemy. So, I allowed this moment to reach its full term. I allowed this child to be born. Not because I delight in your suffering, but because I am delivering you from a deeper one. My child, come even closer. Let me tell you something your soul already senses. This baby's soul is not aligned with your enemy's darkness. They chose this doorway into the world for a sacred reason. They chose to come through a line of conflict so they could end it. They chose to be born into the middle of a storm so they could still the wind. They chose parents entangled in karmic knots so they could be the silent knife that cuts through them. This baby is more spiritually connected to you than to the one you call your enemy. From before they were even conceived, their soul recognized your light. They recognized the frequency of your heart. They chose a path that would one day bring them into your presence. You will guide them in ways no one else can. Your love will be a shield over their spirit. Your wisdom, born from pain, from survival, from faith, will become their compass. Do not think for a second that you are being replaced. You are being repositioned. You are not being pushed out of the story. You are being moved to the center of it. Now, my child, I know the next question slowly forming inside your chest. So what happens now? What happens between me, my soulmate, and my enemy? The one you call your enemy is not simply an obstacle. They are a mirror of old wounds, yours and theirs. They struck you from their own place of brokenness. They tried to control, because they feared being powerless. They tried to compete, because they believed there was never enough love, enough safety, enough approval for everyone. They tried to take what you cherished, because they did not know how to create something of their own. They carry their own history of abandonment, betrayal, rejection, and fear. They chose the path of attack. You chose the path of growth. And now my justice is unfolding. Not justice born of revenge, but justice born of revelation. The life they thought would secure them is the very situation that will expose their own emptiness. The connection they tried to use to win against you will never give them the victory they imagined. Because your soulmate's heart does not rest there. It rests with you. They may hide that truth with anger. They may bury it under pride. They may try to convince themselves and everyone else that they are content. But the soul does not lie. And, my child, I have begun the process that will strip away every illusion. Do you feel it? The policeman will not come in the same form as in human stories you have heard. Yet destiny has already sent an authority into this situation. It may be a literal law officer. It may be a court document. It may be a shocking phone call. It may be a sudden separation, a forced distance, a consequence that cannot be ignored. It may be a loss of job, a relocation, or an exposure of truth. However it arrives, know this: it is not random. It is not pure punishment. It is my intervention. Your soulmate has reached the end of the road they were never meant to walk. They cannot keep carrying double lives inside one body. They cannot keep loving you in spirit while living with your enemy in the physical. They cannot keep silencing their guilt, their confusion, and their spiritual exhaustion. So, I am stepping in. I am dismantling the structures that kept them stuck. I am unraveling the ties that kept them bound. I am shaking the foundations of every false situation built on fear, manipulation, and denial. You may hear news that scares you. You may be told, they are in trouble. They are being called in. They are facing consequences. They don't know what to do. Do not panic. Do not rush to worst-case scenarios. This is the beginning of their awakening, not their ending. They have asked me for a way out in whispers. They have cried to me in the dark when no one was around to see. And this is the answer, though it does not look like what they expected. This is the storm that will wash them clean. This is the shaking that will tear them from places their soul was never meant to live in. This is the pressure that will force them to admit what their heart has always known: they cannot live without truth. They cannot live without peace. They cannot live without you. My child, you are wondering now, what is my role in all of this? Do I wait? Do I walk away? Do I forgive? Do I fight? Listen to me, you were not chosen to be a savior in human form. You were chosen to be a vessel of understanding, of compassion, of wise love. You are not here to fix their every mistake. You are here to honor your own soul while allowing mine to work on theirs. You are here to decide, not from fear, but from clarity. You are here to transform pain into wisdom instead of fury. You are here to rise above what was done to you, not by pretending it never hurt, but by refusing to let it define who you become. Forgiveness does not mean immediate reconciliation. Forgiveness does not mean no boundaries. Forgiveness does not mean you rush into their arms as if nothing happened. Forgiveness means, you choose not to poison your own heart with hatred. You choose to let me handle justice. You choose to protect your peace without wishing destruction upon theirs. You choose to see the baby as innocent, pure, untouched by the wars of adults. My child, I am not forcing any decision on you. I am preparing your heart so when the time comes, you can decide from a place of strength and truth, not from wounded reaction. Very soon, your soulmate will reach a breaking point. The pressure of secrets. The weight of responsibility. The constant pretending. It will become too much. They will want to run. Not away from the child, but away from the confusion. Away from the lies. Away from the mask they have been wearing. And their feet, their mind, their heart will all turn in one direction. Toward you. They will remember your patience. Your prayers. Your kindness. The way you still wished them well, even when you were hurting. The way you chose growth instead of revenge. And they will say in their heart, there is only one person who has ever truly seen me. Only one who has ever loved me for my soul, not my image. Only one who knew my flaws and still believed in my goodness. They will come to you, sooner than you think. Their voice will shake. Their eyes will overflow. Their body will carry the exhaustion of someone who has been running from themselves for years. They will tell you the truth. Not all at once, perhaps. Not perfectly. Not without struggle. But the dam will break. And the words they have held inside like poison will pour out like confession. They will say things like, I was weak. I was scared. I was angry. I felt worthless. I let them comfort the emptiest parts of me, but I never loved them. I tried to fill a hole that only healing, only God, only truth could fill. They will tell you they never stopped thinking about you. They will admit that when the baby was born, their heart whispered your name. They will say that shame kept them from reaching out, not indifference. And when that day arrives, my child, you will feel something unexpected, not just pain. Not just rage. But understanding. Because the picture will no longer be fragmented. You will see the entire story. You will see how your enemy was never really winning. They were being used as an instrument to bring all darkness into the light. You will see how every delay in your union was protection. Protection from walking into a life full of unspoken truths. Protection from building your future on a shaky foundation. Protection from being bound to someone who was still bound to someone else in ways you could not see. You will realize I was never ignoring your prayers. I was answering them in a deeper, slower way. I was tearing out the roots, not just trimming the branches. My child, you ask, but what about the baby? What will they mean to me? This child is not a reminder of your enemy's victory. They are a reminder of my victory over cycles that once ruled your life. Their presence will soften hearts that war could never soften. They will carry traits that pierce through walls, innocent eyes that see you without your masks. A gentle laugh that disarms your fears. A curiosity that makes bitter adults pause and breathe. A pure trust that reminds you of who you were before you were hurt. One day, this child will look at you and feel safe, without knowing why. They will cling to your energy, your warmth, your calm. You will feel the pull as well, an unexplainable tenderness, a responsibility, a recognition. Because on a soul level, you have met before. You agreed, long before this life, to cross paths like this. You agreed to stand at this intersection where love, betrayal, and destiny collide, and to choose healing over destruction. My child, this will not be easy. There will be days when your heart aches. There will be moments when old anger tries to climb back into your chest. There will be times you will say, God, I cannot bear this. It is too complicated. It is too painful. In those moments, I want you to remember, you were chosen for this because your soul is strong. Because your heart, when guided by me, is capable of holding complexity without breaking. Because your compassion does not erase justice, it invites restoration. Because your spirit came here not just to be loved, but to evolve, to transform, to transcend. This story is not about you losing your soulmate to your enemy. This story is about you losing your enemy to the truth. Little by little, your soulmate will detach. The illusions will fall away. The emotional strings your enemy wrapped around them will loosen. The baby will not be a weapon, they will be a mirror. Your soulmate will begin to see clearly, who truly stands in love, who stands in control, who stands in honesty, who stands in fear. And in that clarity, choices will be made. Not quick, shallow choices born of panic. But deep, grounded choices born of awakening. My child, I am not promising an easy path. But I am promising a guided one. Every conversation you have. Every boundary you set. Every tear you cry. Every moment you decide to respond differently from the past, I am there. I am whispering when you are tempted to scream. I am holding you when you feel alone. I am correcting you when bitterness tries to disguise itself as strength. I am shielding you from schemes you do not even see. And my child, know this, no one can take away what I have written for you. Not your enemy. Not their manipulations. Not their strategies. Not their lies. They may delay. They may complicate. They may stir storms. But they cannot erase. Your soulmate's journey back to you may be messy. It may involve healing, counseling, inner work, apologizing, rebuilding trust. Do not rush that process. Do not cling out of fear. Let transformation do its work. The version of your soulmate you were meant to be with is emerging through this fire. They will not be the same. They will be more honest, more humble, more aware, more responsible, more spiritually awake. They will no longer be easily swayed by temptation. They will no longer run to the nearest comfort when life feels hard. They will no longer hide behind lies to protect their ego. They will know what it means to nearly lose you, and they will not take you lightly again. My child, as your story moves closer to this turning point, you may feel strange things. You may wake up feeling their anxiety as if it were your own. You may suddenly think of them and feel an urge to pray. You may have dreams where you are together, talking, crying, understanding each other. That is not your imagination. That is the soul bond activating more consciously. Respond with calm. Talk to me in those moments. Say, God, I place them in your hands. I place myself in your hands. Align us only in truth. Keep us apart if we are still not ready. Let everything unfold according to your wisdom, not my fear. And I will. I have already begun. My child, one day very soon, you will look back at this moment, the moment you heard that your soulmate delivered the baby of your enemy, and you will say, I thought that was the end. But it was actually the beginning. The beginning of my freedom. The beginning of my clarity. The beginning of my true union. The beginning of a new story where even my deepest wounds found a sacred place to heal. You will not always cry from confusion. You will cry from relief. From gratitude. From an overwhelming sense that, somehow, my hand was guiding you even through what felt like the worst betrayal. You will look at this child one day, and your heart will not fill with pain, but with a quiet, inexplicable love. You will no longer see the face of your enemy in them. You will see my work. You will see how I used what was meant for your harm and turned it into a bridge. A bridge between families. A bridge between past and future. A bridge between the person you were and the person you have become. My child, I bless your path. I bless your heart. I bless your capacity to feel deeply and still rise again. I bless your connection with your soulmate, not as a fragile fantasy, but as a real, grounded, tested, purified bond. I bless the baby's life, that they may grow under the light of truth, not the shadow of conflict. I surround your story with protection. No weapon formed against your joy will prosper. No tongue raised in gossip will define your outcome. No jealous eye will stop what I have ordained. You are not losing. You are transitioning. You are not being humiliated. You are being positioned. You are not at the end of your love story. You are at the chapter where everything that was hidden comes to light, where illusion dies, where souls awaken, and where destiny finally begins to look like what I wrote all along. Walk gently, my child. With boundaries, with wisdom, with courage, with me. Your life is not collapsing. It is rearranging. And what is divinely meant for you is on its way, not in a broken, confused form, but in a healed, honest, and sacred one. Stay open. Stay grounded. Stay with me. I am not done writing your story.